Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to the bracket stage. It's round of 8, game 2 between Dustygriff, the defending Three-Man Zone champion, and the upstart from Down Under, Infinious. I am Gambler017. I am joined tonight in the commentary booth by Oscar424. How are we doing tonight, Oscar?
I now have the song Land Down Under stuck in my head. Thank you for that, Gambit. Other than that, I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing fun. And I call Infinious the upstart from Down Under because the Thunder from Down Under is who is waiting for this matchup to be finished. That would be Peasants OMFG. I think we all want the all-Australian semifinals. So let's go Infinious, question mark?
Yeah, I'm personally, I think I mentioned before the stream started, I'm personally would be looking forward to the roughly like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. local race times for us, and that'd be midday for those two. And they don't live terribly far apart, so it could be a LAN party for them. Heck.
Before we get to that point, we do have, Dustygriff has a 1-0 lead here going into game 2, and Infinious is on the ropes, needs to come to a quick, decisive victory to force a game 3. Looking at the objectives, not too bad. We've got our standard forge. Unfortunately, again, this is classic forge, so Kokol is going to keep it. K-Magnets, trade the Pigtail, and then 2 boss hunts, Kanazo and Dark Imps. Dark Imps, not so bad. One of those cheesable bosses. You find some hourglasses, you find some coffins. A Fu or a Tella with Size and or Toad. That's that 4th objective, Kanazo. That can be spicy.
Yeah, I mean, if you find a Kanazo at, say, like the Hook route or pretty much anywhere on the moon, that's going to be a terrifying fight for our runners. That being said, if the Eternal likes to play in the waterfall or Baron 1 or Baron in 1, I mean, it's going to be a lot easier. So that's the funny thing about boss hunts. They could drastically change the landscape of the seed depending on where those specific bosses are. Now, mind you, the obligatory reminder of, hey, there are 2 bosses on the Giant. Could we see maybe both of them chilling out there? I'd be here for it, but I'm also a horrible person.
Yeah, it's entirely possible they could be hiding on the Giant, or they could be hiding in something simple as Miss Cave. You never know. As we're getting started here, I just do want to shout out our behind-the-scenes crew. We have Harumph doing the restreaming, rolled this wonderful seed. We have Heart Gamer doing the tracking. Without them, Oscar and I would be completely lost up here, so thank you to both of you for helping us put this on. Where do you think, well, first off, what key item would you like to see to start off the bat, and then where do you think these runners will go first? Do you think they'll prioritize kind of getting a party together? We do see a starting Rosa, courtesy of Dusty. Do you take that Rosa and run with her, or do you still want to, possibly go Hobbs or Baron in to try to round out the party?
Hobbs is a good check these days. It's a fairly easy fight. You never know. I personally like to see a hooker because I'm a horrible person. I know our runners would love to see a Magma Key because, well, Magma Key is easy. That being said, we are about to find out, and it looks like our best white mage is being befriended by a punch mage. And speaking of a hook,
Yep, that is the hook is our starting item, and only 31k in money. That's a little bit on the low end. So buying stuff's going to be at a premium this season. Yang's one of those characters who only gets better with levels or an early purchase of, say, like a Cat Claw. And 31,000 ain't going to buy a Cat Claw.
Yeah, and I mean, with the starter kit, pretty much the only thing to write home about was maybe that vampire. I mean, I think there was a change rod that, well, everyone can look at and go, yes, this is a stick, but they wouldn't know how to use the stick because they don't have their license on the license board yet. But they're going to hope to find somebody that can actually use it. That being said, our runners are immediately going in lockstep and checking out, well, looks like Dusty's going to be checking, oh, they're both checking out the waterfall boss. I'm just going to shut up and let the runners do their runner thing.
That is an antlion taking a shower today. No worries. He can stay there. That's fine. I do like the check, though. You're here. You're going to go pick up your hovercraft anyway. You might as well get this check out of the way. You are looking for, again, a D-Mist or the Kanazo and or Dark Elves. So Dusty's going to do a little bit more looting here. Finds a charm claw. That's something.
Yep, I did see a Stardust item, which is it's not the Stardust rod, but that is a pretty nice item to find if you need to do some AoE damage early on. So really nice pickup there. Infinious has got the hovercraft and got that all ready to go, and it looks like he is just going to be taking that hovercraft and going right into the hook route to see potentially who's at the ruby spot and then who that character is going to be.
I can understand this play. The treasures are weighted a little bit, so Evelyn Castle, Evelyn Cave gonna have a little bit more value than the early check of Damsian, mainly because of those trap chests. So you're kind of hoping you don't run into those as you do these checks. I think it's probably banking on, I can get better stuff from here as opposed to lesser stuff from that Damsian check.
Yeah, he did find one of the monster chests. That being said, he did find a rune axe, which is a really nice pickup for, again, a character that knows how to use it without stubbing their toe, which our runners have neither of those. Heck.
Meantime, Dusty gonna go straight into Cave Evelyn. Gonna leave these first couple chests. Bandana is actually a pretty good pickup for Yang early on, get a little bit extra strength. One thing you'll notice, Asuka, is again, some of these boxes have 0 GP in it. Why would that be?
Well, there is there's a shortage of money on this world, so there are plenty of chests here that pretty much you don't get anything out of, but the game wants to be really cheeky and say, you know what, you're not going to get nothing, you're going to get zero GP, nothing. Plus, you can't sell anything for any money. You get 0 GP for selling them. You're better off just feeding them to the chocobo and, well, just working on updating its digestive system. The only way you can get money in this game is to beat bosses, which makes that starting money so important. You get anywhere from like 20 some to 80,000 GP. So for our runners to get 31k, Harumph must have been really angry at our runners and just said, you know what, you get to suffer for a while.
Though some good pickups I've seen on Dusty sides, found a samurai bow, samurai armor, wizard armor, diamond ring, purchased a couple Medusa arrows in the store. Coffins and elixirs were the 2 big ticket items in the Evelyn store. Coffins are nice. Elixirs, if you can afford them, are wonderful. In this fact that you're never affording them.
Yeah, but it's a very interesting find for our runners that are literally almost identically matched right now. On the bright side, we have found what looks like a secondary white mage with our Porum. And we did find, well, a possible vanilla. That sprite is either going to be Ruby, which is the vanilla character for right there, or the Elements, which is, well, not the vanilla character. So which one do you think, Gambit, would our runners prefer to see? Vanilla Ruby or Elements?
I think a lot of that's going to depend on the rest of the party makeup, whatever we find on Hobbs, whatever we find on in Baron Inn. That Ice Claw that just got picked up on Dusty's side, that is huge, because if that is a vanilla Rubicon, Yang with an Ice Claw and Power Punches, that can get you through Rubicante.
That heroin robe that Infinious just found is just a fantastic thing for our runners, especially with, I don't know, a character that might be really good with bows and just really good overall, and also can wear it in the form of Rosa. Or
see here, I was thinking you were talking about Porum.
I mean, Porum's really good if you Berserk Silent Staffer and use her to kill Z. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure a piggy with a stack of cure pots can do a little bit more healing than Porum can.
I don't know, don't sleep on Porum. She's done work sometimes, occasionally.
I know, she's really good at killing Z for me.
In the meantime, they both runners found the Staleman chest and was able to fold it on their way out. A couple of decent items, a Drain Spear there. If we find an edge, that's a good dart. We find a cane, that's a good anchor. Other than that, not too much to go with. We are double checking our equipment. Both our white mages start with bows, so that's a great thing.
Yeah, there's not terribly many good things available in the shop. Now, Infinious did pick up an archer bow, which tells me he did not pick up the samurai bow that Dusty found. unfortunately not so great compared to the samurai bow, but you know, sometimes you just gotta buy what you can find.
It's better than the short bow and the great bow, or the not so great bow as I call it, that we started with.
It's definitely a lot more disappointing than the name likes to think. Meanwhile, again, our runners are pretty much going step and step here and going to the east side of Mount Hobbs to check out who that character is and potentially who that boss is. Now, this spot can be, depending on what boss is here, can be either really quick or just kind of annoying. Not so much brutal, but it could take a surprisingly long time. Cough, cough, CPU.
Well, the good thing about it, if it is a CPU here, we do have 2 bow and arrow users, so 2 people who can hit back row with decent accuracy. I say decent because, you know, not so great bow. Hey, Yang started with a Thunderclaw. That's a good thing to see.
Yeah, that Thunder Ice combo's gonna be kind of interesting.
How much do you want to Sid? Infinious says, not very much. Bye. I mean, that's ironically enough, with Rosa in the party, with her with the bow and the aim command, that's a very doable fight here. Just not what I think our runners really would like to take, but Dusty is going to take it on. He's going to try to see if he can grab that Sid.
And by moving that Rosa out of the middle position, that is telling me that he's going to be using the aim command to try to do a bit of damage to Val. I'm curious why he went for the Yang anchor instead of kind of manipulating the character placements to still have Rosa anchor. So that's something we can ask someone who's significantly better at this game than myself, Dusty, afterwards.
Yang's a little bit better anchor in this position, especially at level 1.
That makes sense.
I personally might have gone with the Porm over the Yang, but also rare use of Prey, unfortunately. I think that was probably a misclick on Dusty's perhaps. We do find the dolls down in the Antlion. This won't him down. Toss a Zeus Rage, get rid of dolls. And that's a tower key. I mean, hey, no keyless tower today.
Well, it's a really good thing that Infinious didn't have to deal with the full big doll just towering over him on that one. But thankfully, he was able to take out the dolls at ludicrous speed. So he has the tower key. He has that extra check that he will have underground. And then, well, still trying to hope for that other key with the M by it, named Magma Key.
And Dusty showing that the Sid did start with a bow, so he was back road. Put an axe on him, took care of Alvalis, has a nice shiny Sid in his party. And we'll have to see where everybody goes next. Infinious looks like going to Fabul, and Dusty is going to make that Antlion check.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting that with that additional check on Dusty, it looks like he's a check behind Infinious right now, but and really he's not. But ooh, I actually saw that dancing dagger out of Fabul. That is a really nice find. Again, character that can use it. It's one of those weapons that I tend to forget because I barely play this game apparently, that you can actually use that weapon as an item. If you use it as an item, it does a decent amount of damage early on. It tapers off really quickly, especially once you get like underground, but it's a really good way for a low level character to pack a punch early on.
Yeah, one would say it's Edward's best early game weapon if you don't have a spoon.
I know. Of course a bard's going to be good with a weapon that dances.
In the meantime, Infinious finds a computer invading Fabul, and apparently Fabul's still stuck in the Stone Age, has no idea what to do with it, they're just going to fight it off.
Yeah, I've never understood the concept of CPU as a character, as a boss in this fantasy setting. It makes no sense! I don't get it.
Are you trying to tell me this game has lore?
No, it's Final Fantasy IV. I didn't know there was... Is there a story? Did you?
Scala in chat saying, look at Final Fantasy Legend 2, and all I can say to that as a runner of that game is yes.
For the record, I did not know that game existed until I joined the Free Enterprise community. Because I am uncultured. I have piggy cast on me. I am an uncultured swine.
Dusty, for going for Bull right now, looks like it's going to go straight to Ordeals. Maybe Ordeals check.
That's not a bad choice with three bosses and a fairly beefy party with that Sid and that Yang. They can definitely take a punch if the wrong bosses are up there just to say hi. And I believe that was an Ashura summon that I just saw Dusty picked up. So if a character sprite that apparently is equal to missing no joins party, cool. Also, Infinious just got incentivized to find the Cecil that will now be guaranteed to not appear in the seed.
Yep, but yeah, Dusty with that Ashura summon basically grants you a good amount of healing 2/3 of the time. Unfortunately, it'll probably 1/3 the time every time you need it. So,
is it 75% of the time it works all the time?
yeah, exactly.
As Infinious is well then. So
that's an objective, and this is not a bad spot to find him in at all.
Definitely one of the, I'd say, the safer places to see that turtle. Like, instead of you seeing that turtle and just going you're just here looking at that spot going, but it is the turtles before they swam in the mutant ooze versus already they're having comic books written and are ninjas. Like, that's kind of the difference. We're at the pre-ooze off phase.
Yeah, chat pointing out Dusty Zhang has a perfect setup for this: a Thunder and an Ice Claw, respectively. Going to be able to hit those weaknesses on both forms. Plus, in this spot, that wave probably wouldn't even take out that Porum, all honesty. So, pretty easy to get through. You see, Dusty's is already hiding in the shell. Infinious is probably not going to be very far behind, and we're going to have a quick 13-minute objective.
And you can really see the difference between the Samurai Bow and the Archer Bow on Dusty and Infinious' side, respectively. That's an extra 500 some points of damage that Dusty's Rosa is put. What?
Okay. Let's call Ordeals the mountain of objectives today. So what are we thinking? We thinking this is going to be Twin Harp, this is going to be Pink Tail. Can we have a triple required Ordeals here?
I mean, I just had
an idea. You got the idea?
Yes. Okay. So hear me out. Demist giving just Demist existing, then the game giving Pink Tail, and Rydia's mom has the harp.
And then harp grant Starkness Crystal.
Yeah. No, this is the round of 8. I want it to grant the pass because I'm a horrible human being. But think about it.
I mean, we could be looking at possibly. I don't think we've had a sub-hour bracket seed, and if that comes to pass, this could be a sub-hour bracket seed. I mean, you could literally have Underground not required here.
Oh my god. You missed.
Special shout out to our tracker, Heart Gamer, who went from 2 key items to all of a sudden having 4 buttons suppressed in the span of just a couple minutes.
Come on. Ah! It's I'm okay with it.
Yeah, hook route not required. That's a quick freebie Underground. Bahamut, not a boss you want to see here. This is a completely free fight, and you would have rather seen that somewhere else.
Well, and the thing is, what makes Ordeals even funnier is, okay, you have 2 boss fights you're trying to look for, and you're always wondering, especially if you have the Magna Key, is it the King Queen spot? It's the one spot on the hook route of 2 that you literally have to go to look at. Now with Ordeals going, nah fam, I gotcha, here's both fights that you need. That just kind of frees up checks later on or time, and I I wish it was Demist. That would be funny.
I guess Rum said, you can't have the seed be that fast. We do need to have some kind of suspense for later on in the game. But Dusty is through. Dusty has the magma key. Infinious gets through the second of his required objective bosses. He's about to have his magma key. Does Dusty go and try to go for the fabled one-stop for Bull? Or will he go back and check that? Or just go to Baron in first?
I'm going to shake the magic 8-ball of real-time events and say he's going to go to Baron in first. But with the magma key accessible, I kind of think that I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to one-stop shop. Oh, it's best play!
It is everyone's favorite bard, Edward, and Dr. Cutscene. Dr. Cutscene here is, well, you'll see in a second.
If by cutscene you mean mashing the A button or whatever button.
Oh, I was hoping that a punch from Poro would get that kill.
Well, there's still one more shot.
Well, he's not even going to have a chance to say now the real fight.
Now I want something rude here. Like an Ogopogo or something. What? You know what the best part about this, everybody? You see that Demas, and you know you have to take that Edwin.
I have some words right now. This is a thing of beauty, and GG's. 10 out of 10 would players need to get.
Eddie's in the party soon. Eddie's in the party soon. Do-ra. Oh man! All right, we got to place the bets here. Is this going to be a required key item? Which are both of them? Not really.
Oh, that's another key. We are one key short of completing our key ring. So come on, Demas for Baron key. Let's go.
Gambit. Our lovely Niabari just mentioned something in chat. You know what they said?
Oh, I see it. I absolutely see it.
This is the potential Eddie Strat seed.
So, talking and a technical standpoint, by the way, Silk Webs and Star Veils in the shop here in Baron. That's a brilliant thing to see. I know Dusty can do Eddie Strats. He's done Eddie Strats before. I've never seen Dusty do an Eddie Strat in a race.
Because nobody wants to do Eddie Strats in a race.
If it is a potential jet seed, like say this Demas check that we're about to find out is something required, say a harp that leads to a pink tail, I would not be surprised to see Infinious go to okay seed.
Sorry, Warlock.
So, jet seed is jet, huh?
This is yeah.
Okay, so when this is a crystal sword,
I want it to be a drain spear.
no, just another Excalibur. But here's the thing: this changes my routing if I'm Dusty here. I've got a magma key in hand. I still go to Fabul right now because if Fabul is harp, then we're in go mode immediately. You go, you check that because again, underground might not be required. Well, underground is probably going to be required because we still have to find a way to the moon. But yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely go to Fabul and then immediately go to Feymarch. Get that free key item. Just try to knock out as many key item checks as you can, because if there really isn't much left gating the conclusion of this seed. Which
if Feymarch freebie ends up being the harp, I mean, you're looking at a very, very jet seed.
Here's the thing: like, there are two different types of very high anxiety, very technically challenging types of seeds out there. One where it's just the rudest bosses and the rudest locations and the rudest key item places. It's meant to just test your willingness to not throw your controller at the wall. That's one. The other is, by the way, the seed just started and you have go mode. Cobble something together or you lose. They are vastly different seeds, but they require so much skill for different reasons. Jet seeds especially, where you literally have very little to work with, and you need to figure out, okay, what with what I have, how can I get through this seed? How can I finish this super quickly?
I feel the stares and the screams in Hook 2 coming my way at the current moment.
Yeah.
Meantime, Dusty does turn in the magma key, heads underground, heads straight to the Feymarch Titan item. Infinious gets the pink tail from that wonderful, wonderful Demus. Going to go turn that in, complete objective 3. And we're going to be less than 25 minutes into this seed with both runners one and a half, if you will, because you still have 9.5 of Forge, but basically one objective away from go mode. And
you got to think that both runners, they're seeing just these objectives get done so quickly. They've got to both... Wow, that was a rude purple robe right there. They've got to be behind the 8 ball, because at this point, any single mistake could potentially lose you the race. You have to play perfectly right now, and right there in the Feymarch, that's the grind. So they don't have to worry about how they're going to get levels. They just need to figure out how they're going to get some cash to essentially buy those levels.
One thing Infinious just did, though, went back into Cave Evelyn, bought 2 coffins. With the starter kits for the brackets round, you start with 2 sirens. So probably thinking, I'm going to go ahead and cash those in immediately. Is that going to be fun, or is that going to be aw?
That's good.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's totally fun. We'll be the first to admit this. Now, here's why I'm giggling. So, Odin, in Leviathan, there is a particular character that can very cheekily defeat Odin. If you are willing to embrace the bard.
I was gonna say it's that Yang with that Thunderclaw that we have.
No,
just zerk him up and let him go to town. We're fine.
No, bad punch mage. I mean, at that point, Eddie wouldn't just be bringing out the loot. He would be bringing out like the complete Fender guitar and just playing some massive chords against Odin with that Thunderstruck.
Do that, you would want to get either that Rosa or Porum up to Blink, so you can get a Blink off on that bard before he hides. And then you would still need a Thor Rage and or some kind of lightning item, which I don't know if we have in our inventory at the current moment.
Infinious used one in
Dusty used... Yeah, Dusty... I believe Dusty used... No, did Dusty use the Stardust in that line? I know Infinious used the Zeus Rage in that line.
And for those in chat that don't know what we're quite talking about, Odin has a very peculiar win condition, aside from just destroy Odin before he destroys you. If you can survive 2 of the... 2 Odin attacks, 2 Zentotsukins, and he raises his arm for the 3rd one, any source of lightning damage, when his arm is raised for that 3rd one, you'll get the text bubble that appears that says Thunderstruck Odin, and guess what? Odin dies. That's called the Thunderstruck. You can also do it with a cane, jumping over those Zantetsuken, which is kind of amusing because guess who just showed up to betray my bard? Rude.
I was going to ask, who do you get rid of here? But in Dusty's case, it's Edward. I guess probably going to keep that Porum as an anchor, or maybe we do have a Drain Spear. We could have Kane anchor.
Yeah, that's true. But Thunderstruck with Eddie. Meanwhile, Infinious is going to be finding out the the Sand Ruby is available in the Fey March, and there goes Dusty. It looks like he'll be doing a double dip potentially if he finds the pan, but we will be finding out what's in Sheila 1 in the very near future.
Yeah, probably isn't going to be too happy to see that Excalibur. No Cecil right now, and at this point, this is a party you don't mind taking to Z. So probably not looking to really pick up anybody else if you absolutely don't have to go out of the way for.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a party that needs a little bit of TLC in the form of levels, but yeah, it's not the ideal A team here. I mean, you pretty much have Mr. T with Rosa, who's like the staple in most A team seeds, but that's about it. The others, you can make work.
See, I thought I was a TLB seed, Tender Loving Bard.
No, because Dusty got rid of the Bard. Infinious hasn't been able to yet because Infinious only has 4 characters, so there's that.
And as Infinious turns in that Sand Ruby, we'll pick up that Kane, and that'll be his 5th party member. And we'll probably never ever go back for that Sid because Valvalis.
Yeah, I mean, Sid makes a decent anchor. Just because of his massive HP pool, and it doesn't take much to keep his agility down. The beard is really heavy, and that like Mega Man-esque helmet, it weighs him down a lot, so he can't really move that fast. But either that or his really creepy smile. One of those things make him slow. So putting on like what is it, Dwarf Axe or Cursed Ring, or just letting him be a low-level anchor shouldn't be too bad of an issue. So there is that potential option if a legit anchor can't be found by Infinious later on.
And to answer a question in chat, our 2 bosses were hanging out back to back on ordeals. Kanazo in the front spot, Dark Imps in the back spot.
Yeah, it was Operation. If you faded ordeals, you are sad. And that was, well.
Oh. You know who would really like that glass hat?
Who, Gambit?
Edward.
Yeah, fancy that. Though, okay, if it's coming from Sheila, would that not be glass and more be Pyrex? It's definitely a better cooking utensil. And I mean, we already have floating orbs, so let's just assume we've got Pyrex in here too. So meanwhile, half the chat is like, what? And the other half's going, oh yeah, that makes sense.
At this point, we are pretty much tied back up. Both runners have done checks, the same checks in the same spot. Be interesting to see where people decide to go from here. I'll take that back. Infinious is just now doing the Sand Ruby. But other than that, we're in the same pretty much spot. What do you do next? You full cleared Underground. You have a Tower Key burning a hole in your pocket. You have a Luca Key burning a hole in your pocket. Do you go do one of those checks? Do you do Dwarf Castle? Do you go take on that Alt Gauntlet? Because Dustygriff does have a Rune Axe, and that's going to do some work against those Conjurers.
Well, Dusty is getting some levels grind early, grind often with that Siren. I would, honestly, since you're looking for key items right now, Tower Key, especially the Super Cannon, is looking real spicy right now for the potential 2 key item checks. Luca Key, I mean, the fact that you can save scum a Luca Key check to see what the key item is back there. If it's we'll say a package, not really worth it right now. You could just bail out and call it a day. If it's something that's super viable, like a Darkness Crystal or half of the Forge, then you know, okay, I can walk it out. It does look like, let's see, Dusty is going to be healing, so he's probably going to be taking on, I'm guessing, Dwarf Castle, just with proximity, but I could be wrong. I'm hoping I'm not. Dusty, don't prove me wrong. Please don't prove me wrong. Yes! Dusty did the thing! Thanks, Dusty.
Yeah, I agree with this. And Infinious is probably going to do the exact same thing. Going to burn a couple Sirens, get some levels on your characters, and then go do Dwarf Castle. 2 Sirens is not that bad to do early. You can still swap a character out after that, and this is really the last big character spot moment we have without having a Darkness Crystal or Earth Crystal. So yeah, this is probably the play I would make at this point.
It does look like Kane is going to be taking a good beating with that glass helmet. We do have what looks like either a 2-character freeish fight or a 4-character freeish fight. There's going to be guards of some kind here. We'll find out right about now. Oh boy, grammar's hard, y'all. Looks like the Baron guards. So the guards that totally can use spells, even though they don't look like they should.
Yeah, and conveniently enough, even though Dusty did not buy any, there were hourglasses for sale here in Dwarf Castle. So you could have easily just picked up an hourglass and been like, oh, cool, bye.
It makes me wonder if Dusty's trying to save up money to buy as many sirens as possible in case he gets that instant go mode.
That is entirely possible. And in this case, we've got, yeah, that's some big damage from Rosa onto these guards. As poor Zerks Rosa up. These guards do still punch hard in this spot. But Rosa, Heroine Robe, Samurai Bow, yeah.
What manner of death and destruction does she have in that bow? Is it a charm arrow? Mute arrow. Oh, yeah.
I believe they're mute arrows, yes.
Yeah, mages don't like mute arrows. Case in point, those mages didn't like those mute arrows. And also, Dusty did get a life glitch off of one of those guards, which is a little bit nice influx of XP. Especially if we do have a Jet Seed, getting XP in every way possible is always a good thing. But please be a Cecil. Oh, geez.
No, that is a mop. That is a very good thing to find right here. And my forum.
That makes Cecil like the discount Lunarian in comparison.
Yeah, this spot for Dark Knight Cecil is more like Tickle Knight.
Tickle me, Cecil. Annoying, but, well, everyone loves to see it because it's fairly free. Now, looking at this party, would you say this is more of a hybrid strat team, or might Dusty try to find somebody else?
This is a hybrid. Though, honestly, depending on what key item we get here, I would not mind seeing Dusty just go for Cure 4 on Rosa, not worry about trying to level Fu up the rest of the way, and just going for it, depending on what we get. Because again, Harp is go mode.
True.
Well, no mode, because we don't have a way to Zeromish yet, but, you know.
The number one question I have is the floating hand tends to be the same color palette as the boss that you fight second. Why is a steel blue Dark Knight, a red glowing floating hand?
Because FF4 things. Anyway, today, in the fashion of the dwarves, Luca wears a pan around her neck.
That is a very, very good pickup when you're looking for key items, because here's 2 more key item checks just for you. Skull in the chat messaging that I might use a default palette, but if Golbez is the default boss right there, why is it red?
So it'll be interesting to see who Infinious ditches for. Yep, ditches the Poem as well. He's going to keep the Edward because Edward is right now his anchor.
Which honestly, you can't fault that. It's a very a base level Eddie is level 5, and the agility's not so bad. So yeah, I'm okay with this check, not just because it's Edward. It makes sense logistically. So right now, I really want to see Harp from the Sylph and Darkness from Sheila 2.
Yeah, I want to see Harp pass.
Oh, that'd be better. Darkness! Sheila 2! Harp Sheila 2! Harp Sheila 2!
This seed is something else, and I am absolutely positively here for it. And I want to take the time to thank Harumph, who is restreaming and rolled this wonderful seed, and Heartgamer, who is doing the tracking for this wonderful seed, because they are getting to enjoy this show that Asuka and I are just absolutely dying over. So definitely give them a follow if you don't already, as well as my wonderful co-commentator Asuka, who is great, and you should already be following. Go give her a follow as well.
And here's the thing: instead of following me, everyone should be following Gambit017. Gambit is single-handedly good people. He is a wholesome, super awesome member of the community, and everybody should give him plenty of awesome love.
In the meantime, Dusty going straight to Sheila 2 is going to see what we get.
It's a spoon.
Well, it's a spoon with no owner, sadly, because the spoon flag is not on.
I'm a sad Eddie fan now.
But Skype in chat pointing out that was a vanilla spoon. So, hey, vanilla.
Interesting. Okay. Staying at the Fabul Inn, would that be like a Hyatt Regency or maybe a Red Roof Inn?
It's Holiday Inn Express.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, so far we've had 1.5 vanilla in this seed. I say half because we don't yet know whether that Ruby Sprite is actually Rumicante or Elements down there in the hook route, because we didn't have to go that way.
No, not even a little bit. But meanwhile, Dusty, instead of taking that Darkness Crystal, he is going right up to that tower and saying, you know what, I can take on this tower, and there's 2 key item checks here. Let's go.
Yeah, this is the point where I expect to see divergence. Dusty is a very technical runner, likes to full clear Earth before committing to the moon. With Tower key in hand, with Luca key in hand, I would not be surprised to see him check every possible check, even those Fame Arch bosses, before going to the moon. Whereas Infinious, I would imagine, going with some metagame knowledge, might actually be like, okay, I know Dusty. This is what he likes to do. I've got a Darkness Crystal early. Let's go moon. Let's see if we can find some beatable bosses. Let's see if we get lucky.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it's going to come down to is sheer luck. And of course, which bosses are in which spots. I mean, if there's still plenty, well, I don't want to say plenty, there's still free bosses available. Here's looking at you, King, Queen of Evelyn. So it might be an easier route on the moon, but the key items might not be there. Meanwhile, Ogopogo, as much as I love some Canadian content, it's in the least threatening spot in the game. That's unfortunate.
So hear me out here. Let's go into a little bit of a what if scenario.
Okay.
Let's say Dusty ends up with Baron Key from one of these checks in the Tower of Luca, and behind that is the heart. Infinious goes to the moon, finds King Queen up in the cave value with the adamant and Water Hag in the ribbon room with the legend sword and the pass. Who would you give the advantage to?
If Infinious didn't follow in Dusty's footsteps, I would say whoever had the pass, because even if you are on the moon, it's still technically faster to bail out of the moon and activate the pass than it is to walk up the entire LST. That being said, it looks like we are getting a double dose of Tower right now, because that's where they both decided to go. We get to find out at the top of this is the Tower of Sparkle, apparently. I'm going to say Plague because I hate Plague.
Yes, all the sparkles all the time here in the Tower of Lower Babel, otherwise now known as the Tower of Sparkle. Infinious probably going to go straight up to the top first and do the Tower key on the way back down. Dusty again having done the Tower on the way up. Nope, that's just a pale dim.
That dimmed a lot of our hopes and dreams. I saw a lot of wyverns in chat, so that was more of a blah. That's unfortunate. So pretty much, just don't use the fight command. Paladin won't slow you if you don't use the fight command, and we do have plenty of characters that are not named Sid that can use things other than the fight command on Dusty's side.
Yeah, we have Rosa who can aim, Kane who can, or sorry, Yang who can power, Kane who can jump, and Fu who knows a magical, wonderful spell called Nuke.
Yeah, Fu does Fu things. Also, what I love about the golden Fu doll here is when he goes into his swoon form, he looks like a scrambled egg. Just when you see that, know that it will not leave your brain. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Would you say he's a scrambled mop?
Yeah.
Meantime, that paled him.
Over easy.
Yeah. These jokes pale in comparison. We do find an Earth Crystal, so we do have the party rock. 42 minutes in, do we rate that treasury?
Nope. With this being this close to go mode, again, it's a gamble because there could be just awesome stuff in there, relatively. But anytime that you are not getting key items actively is time your opponent can be getting key items and maybe find the one you need.
Party setup right now definitely favors Dusty. I mean, the Edward Anchor is absolutely wonderful, don't get me wrong. But that Sid is going to do wonders because, going to have some low agility, so no worries about agility anchoring there. But it's also going to be able to put out a lot more damage than the base level Edward's going to. So Dusty in a little bit better position party-wise, about a check ahead of Infinious at this point. But there's still room for divergence. Again, if Dusty decides to forego the Luca key and chase Earth, and Luca ends up paying out, that could be a thing. If one of the runners decides to go up the Giant, or not Giant, the Moon, that could be a thing. There's plenty of room for this race to turn one way or another. But yeah, Tower Key's just a meme shirt. We don't need that.
Yeah, especially because that shirt is a very complicated, strappy, belty, weird-looking shirt that none of our team members actually know how to use. Now, that being said, there is a character that is sitting on the moon going, hey, y'all gotta dark this crystal. You coming up here or not? That could be our edge. Personally, I don't think I'd take him because I don't think our runners have anything for him other than for darting purposes, but tough to say. It could be the Cecil as well, and we're literally going to be duct taping Excaliburs to various limbs on Cecil because we're getting too many of them as it is. So there's also that.
So one thing our lovely Zoe Vermillion pointed out in chat, that's 10 key items for Dusty. Dusty did keep the spoon from Sheila too, and Infinious reset out of it, so it's only going to be at 9 key items right now. If this is value of some sort, let's say Twin Heart, Dusty could very easily grind doors on the way out of Luca here. That's your grind. You go do Heart, and you're Z ready, you go. With only the 9 key items on Infinious side, that's not as tempting an offer.
Yeah, that's a very good point. There's so many different grind options that you normally don't think of when you see Sirens to go, okay, yes, I can use those to grind. Doors, I mean, really, if you have some source of like a Star Veil or better off a wall, you can get some really good XP if you time it right. And I think a Kane would be able to time it right, but I'm also not as well versed in the door grind timing as our runners that we're watching currently. But yeah, with 10 key items, that would be a fantastic way to get some really quick levels really fast. Which Dusty's going to really quickly get level or want to get levels really quickly fast.
45 minutes, we're in go mode, people. Hope you guys had plans this afternoon because this could go be a quick one, looks like.
Yeah. And you know what? The next check Infinious makes is going to make a lot of difference right here.
That confirms it's a vanilla ruby, by the way.
Yes, it does. That is elements. And for Infinious' sake, he is checking Luca. And also for Infinious' sake, that will also put him at 10 key items. So the key.
Right. So could we could see dueling door grinds on our way out of here, and just go to Twin Harp, go to Z. This is going to be a race here. It might literally come down to what is your way of grinding. Do you take these doors since you're here, or do you try to hold off, do harp, and then take moon bosses on the moon?
That is a tough call, and actually, as mentioned in chat, Infinious likes using a strategy called Foo and Friends, which is, again, Foo does Foo things, and Foo does Foo things very well. He can pretty much, with a little help from his friends, just say, you know what, I can deal with Z. Just y'all just stand over there and have fun. You do need some Star Veils for that, but and you need Nuke, and you need a way of slowing him or slowing Z. So it's not as quick as, say, Power Overwhelming, but it does alleviate the need to grind if done correctly.
Yeah, to answer the question, chat, we did find Sirens. They are in the Fame March. We know where Starveils and Silkwebs are. Both of those are in the item shop in Baron Town. So, and Infinious, to his credit, still does have that Edward in the party. You could still do Edward strats. Say, the heck with grinding, the heck with everything. Let's go, Eddie.
Here's my thought. Would it be better? I mean, you could almost do a very borked, bizarre, weird Foo and Friends with an Eddie potential pivot if Foo and Friends goes wrong thing. It's tough to say because Eddie would be the anchor, so your relative agility is going to be even more witchcraft than normal. But yeah, Infinious does have some very interesting options available to him right now.
Dusty immediately diving back into the Fame Mark says, let's pick up some more Sirens. How many can I afford? Three more. Three more is fine. Three will get me where I want to go.
Now, is he going to take them and do some egg grinding, or is he going to go to the moon? That's going to be the next question. And it looks like Dusty is going to Dwarf Castle.
This tells me he's going to do dragons on the moon. He is going to go pick up the reason
the hourglasses.
The reason he didn't go broke on the Sirens, he's going to pick up some hourglasses so he can do gold dragons on the moon. 2 hourglasses, 3 Sirens. Yeah, that's going to be a straight gold dragon grind.
Yeah, and I mentioned, Chad, it would be absolutely bonkers if Twin Harp gave pass. Just because, why not at this point?
I mean, okay, just so everyone knows, for full disclosure, I did ask for a jet seed in the pre-race room, and it looks like I'm getting my wish because this is jet and this is fun.
And like I said, it is a completely different type of anxiety that's fun to watch because you're not the one doing it. Does look like Infinious is going to be warping out, so no door grinds for either of our runners. Dusty is going to be doing the harp check first. I don't mind him checking the harp first in case there is that pass. It might save some time to get the pass and then maybe go back underground and do eggs, as opposed to going up to the moon, doing the grind, going back down to the moon, and then using the pass. So, yeah, can't fault him for this one.
Looks like Infinious is going to go right in behind him, so we are going to have dueling harps here in a second. One thing we do in Free Enterprise is the standard song that Edward plays. I'm not saying it's boring; it's a wonderful song. Edward's a great harp player, but we like having Edward play new tunes and teaching him new tricks. So we randomize what song he plays every seed. So here in a little bit, we are going to be quiet to find out what the stylings of DJ Sweeney B we have tonight.
I told you, look at that. It's a scrambled egg. Or, well, maybe it's sunny side up. Something like that. Poached egg. So anyway, here's Wonderwall.
I was going to ask, how you feeling about that music as we're about to get a reprise on Infinious Society? Because I know how you are with Zelda music. Art required. Twin art.
Sigh. Am I allowed to talk over the Zelda music?
I would stay quiet because it is our second helping of it.
But it's Zelda music.
I know.
Okay, I have backing from Rivers. So this is a not so evil wall.
No, even on this spot, it's more annoying than anything. Thankfully, the twin art spot is not a very strong magic spot, or not magic spot, a physical spot. It is a strong magic spot. It does have a high magic resist, so this nuke is probably still only going to do about 3,000. Yeah, but you see petrified hits, but we should have the physical damage to get through this the rest of the way, so no real worries. Dustygriff, in the meantime, is going to the moon. I see eggs in our future.
Eggs or it's tough to say. Is it eggs? Is it gold dragons? I mean, I don't know. I mean, we saw what Infinious was buying. It definitely looked like a Fu and Friends setup. So this one's gonna be tough. Dusty's gonna have, if it's a grind versus Fu and Friends, Dusty's gonna have power, but Infinious is gonna have the time saved without grinding. So, but Dusty is going to have the power that's going to save time in the Z fight. I personally, I would love to see Fu and Friends win because I love seeing very cheeky Z strats pay off for people when they're up against power overwhelming. Because, yeah, but this is tough because this is I don't know. It's too close.
Yeah, it's really going to depend on what you want to do as you grind and where you cut your grind off. Remember, Dusty only has, I think, 3 sirens, 2 hourglasses. So, could see him just do a quick grind and go. Hey, look, you wanted a moon punch mage?
Well, I mean, it'd be nice to have a lunar punch mage if we didn't have a punch mage back home because of no dupes.
Exactly. But Infinious is going to the moon as well. I don't know what his siren situation is, but looks like we are either both going to be doing some kind of dragon, gold dragon, or warlock, or moon boss grind, or Infinious might just say, "Heck it, I've got to go now," and just go straight in with Fu and Friends and go for it.
Yeah, definitely sounds about right. I think either way, this is going to be quick, honestly. I'm fascinated that our runner, I mean, yes, it's a jet seed, and everyone can say it with a grain of salt, but you think about the fact that these are the top 2 of the top 8 runners in this tournament, and to have as many checks under their belt as they have, and not even be an hour through this seed, like, heck. I like how we've brought up the discussion of grind versus low-level strats, and I'm team low-level strats just because I understand from a viewer standpoint they're not as fun to watch, but from a runner standpoint, I enjoy the extremely high stress. You make the one wrong move and you wipe. Like I think that is so much more fun than I can set the controller down and walk away. That's just boring to me. But I'm also weird, as we all know. So, yeah. How about you, Gambit?
I kind of lost myself in trying to figure out what Infinious was coming back for, and then saw the Starvells and completely missed everything.
I thought I figured I was just talking to myself in a void, which I'm kind of surprised it has not happened yet.
That you know of.
True. I mean, I haven't gotten banned yet.
Anytime. Yeah, Infinious back on the moon. Gonna go down again. We saw the Starvells pick up. I have a feeling that Infinious might be going for Fu and Friends, just going to go straight down.
Yeah, like I said, with the things he's picked up thus far, I wouldn't put it past him. I think from a viewer standpoint, I wish he maybe had a couple more minutes to lead because of Fu and Friends taking longer. It's bad grammar, but I love that. You won't join. But yeah, I can see him saving by the plague and the delunar spot, and then just going right down.
Oh, I love what Dusty did there, using the kamikaze to make sure the Sid is on the ground, not getting any more levels. He's already having perfect agility for what he needs, and brings that real quick. 2 sirens left. We'll see if he pops both of them or if he only goes for one. Looking at the levels, that Rosa already has Cure 4, so this might just be a little bit of safety HP. But I would not be surprised if we are in a Z fight within the next 2 minutes or so.
Really? I thought it took longer from this point to get down to Z. I mean, I also get lost in the lunar subterranean because I can't find my way out of a one-sided paper bag. Because, again, I'm weird.
I mean, that might be a little bit of a too quick of a time exaggeration, but it's pretty damn close.
As much of a jet seat as this is, you can't just jet your way through the LST without a pass.
Well, there is a way, we just don't have it active for this particular flag set.
No, and it should stay that way. I know what you're talking about, and blah.
But I like pressing the B button.
No. I hate that seat. I hate that flag. I barely know how to do Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. Don't make me jump too. Bork that.
Infinious going down to battle speed 6. This is a Fu and Friends coming up on Infinious' side. So we are going to see very soon if Fu and Friends or if grinding and going is going to be the faster route. Because if I'm not mistaken, this is, I believe, Dusty's last siren. So,
but enough of F and F and G and G. We need Z and Z. So, as Infinious is walking down this really fancy schmancy tile lunar core, Z can't move. We have him shackled to the basement. But we can make Z look pretty different. There's 528 different ways we can make Z look pretty different, but you need the crystal, and you need to ask a very specific question that only Gambit knows. Gambit, what's the question?
Why are we asking for me to take a nap when it's only 7 o'clock at night?
Because it's 9 o'clock for me, and I'm old.
You're not old.
I'm closer to 40 than I am 30.
Well, so am I, but we pretend that doesn't exist. But no, what we're alluding to is instead of changing Zerovis's location or script, we change his physical appearance. So we have 528, I believe, is the current count of Z sprites. Yeah. So we like to ask, whose butt are we going to be kicking on this wonderful evening?
Everyone asks for a cute butt. I want a scary butt. I want an ugly butt. A horror butt. Just not a butt. That's awkward. Maybe it's Timus.
I would laugh if it's Timus. I think the admins would cry, but I would laugh.
We're not admins. We need to worry about it. Timus, let's go.
All right, so Crystal is thrown. The butt is revealed. Tonight we are facing.
What? What?
Something.
Okay, you know it's a thing when it immediately comes out and Scarlet Kitty and Chad is explaining it.
So Scarlet's saying this is a hidden dummy sprite in Final Fantasy IV's code.
Because as we all know, because we watch Free Enterprise, at least some of us do. I don't even know what this game is, but Final Fantasy IV is a finely crafted video game. Clearly. It's like missing it. Final Fantasy IV saw Pokemon and saw Missing No and said, "Hold my Bacchus," and created that before Missing No even existed. Makes sense. And Gambit has completely is completely done with me. So, hi friends. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just Googling how to mute co-commentator.
You have the power. And with great power comes great responsibility.
And with great star bills on Infinious side becomes great Fu and friends, as we're throwing Thorn Rages to trigger those new counters and getting those bounces off that star veil. In the meantime, Dustygriff going with more of a hybrid strategy. You've got Yang, who looks like he is probably Bacchused up. You've got Kane, who's in the back row, but Dusty's doing a lot of bouncing too. Might be going more of a, do some damage early with Kane and Yang, but see about doing more of a reflect to get the kill.
Yeah, anytime you're able to avoid the HP refill saves time. Even with the Kane and the Yang doing damage, that's an extra 5 figures or 5 digits of HP that you need to top off or you need to get rid of. So yeah, I could see definitely some counting coming out on Dusty's side to try to shore up that potential for oh heck. But yeah, I mean, the fact that they're both in the Z fight at the same time, it's unless if Dusty is able to avoid the HP refill, I think this is Dusty's. Just because this is going to be a much slower fight for Infinious, not just because of Fu and Friends, but because of the lower battle speed. If Dusty doesn't avoid the refill, it's going to be close. But I'm not sure. I mean, we could try putting up a poll. Hopefully not break everything. But either way, you definitely get to see the power of Fu on both sides of the, the team, with just Fu casting out nukes on both sides. And interesting factoid, as brought up in chat with Fu. Fu was actually banned in the last tournament. Fu was, Mop was too strong. So Fu got to go into the fupa room and go on vacation and enjoy summer and sun and Bacchus and everything. Maybe a carrot or two.
Fu had a grand old time, but he's back this tournament with a vengeance, bouncing those nukes.
The football room. Leggy, I love it.
I thought World Cup isn't for another year.
Way to just mop me right in with that pun.
See, now Rivers say Fu went to the World Cup, and I'm like, can I go to the World Cup? I want to go to the World Cup.
I want to go to the Stanley Cup. Can I go to Stanley Cup?
So that's a shake on Dusty's side. I don't know if we're in phase 1 or phase 2. We might be close to seeing a second Big Bang, and Yang will survive. Rosa will probably survive. Everybody else, not so much.
When it comes to Big Bangs, if they're not nerfed, the high roll of a Big Bang, aka every roll I heckin' get, is like in the 2,000, 2,200 range. If you have a nuked Big Bang, a nerfed Big Bang, I think the most you might take is like 1,200, unless you are bleh, levels of unlucky, if you will. And River says that Gambit, you have to learn nuke. That's easy. I've got a microwave downstairs. I can help with this.
Then I'm just too partial to the D machine grind. Give me Darkness Crystal. I'll go up and find the alerts.
I'm just partial to funny checks. Like Supermarket Sweep Harp. And to mention or to answer something in chat with is Infinious going to skip the refill? With Fu and Friends, you want to. You absolutely want to, because the longer you do any type of low-level strats, the more likely it is for something to go dreadfully wrong and die.
In the meantime, Dusty got a virus cast, which means we are still in phase 1. Got Fu up, is setting up a nuke in a white right now, trying to run buffer it in. Simultaneous nuke cast on both sides, but the fact that the nuke has not left the screen tells me that that's a crack, and boom. Dustygriff has won. Has taken this game. We'll see about the final time in just a second.
It definitely shows that the winner of the Power Overwhelming versus Fu and Friends is definitely the Power Overwhelming. The final time is 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 42 seconds. So keep those GGs going for everybody.
Dusty punches his way into the semifinals to take on the Thunder from Down Under, Peasants Owner FE. Again, Dusty having to go through not one but 2 Australians if he wants to make the finals this year. Takes out the first one, 2 games to nothing. Though Infinious down to 3 characters, but doing pretty well with his Fu and Friends. I would not be surprised to see him very far behind at this point.
Yeah, and that's actually pretty impressive considering the Power Overwhelming versus the Fu and Friends debate, because, yeah, if this is over quickly, then kudos to Fu and Friends for being a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be, but I've done Fu and Friends once and it took a very long time to do. But I'm also not a top tier runner of the game like these 2 wonderful gentlemen are. So we are getting, we are inching ever so closer to that potential flash crack and boom. And okay, I'm just gonna, never mind, game. You do your thing, game.
There it is, the reflected nuke from Fu finishes off for Infinious' side. Infinious is finished in second place. Final time of 1 hour, 11 minutes, 36 seconds. This game is decided by less than 2 minutes with 2 different Z strategies. Just amazing from both runners. And we'll see if we can get both of them in here for interviews if they are willing.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of those group interviews. How about you?
Oh, of course.
But meanwhile, enjoy the sideways running stream of dumminess. Let's see here. I see one. I see skies of blue. Something, 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 something. Because that's all I know about that song. All right. You know, if I actually knew how to use Discord, I could do things like this.
I believe we are actually, yeah, we are now joined by both of our runners, Dustygriff and Infinious. GG's to both of you. This was a heck of a seed.
Yeah, GG's
Dusty.
Yeah, GG's Infinious.
So, about that Mount Ordeals.
A little spicy. A couple things up there that you need.
I mean, it's only like the magma key, right? No bosses whatsoever.
No,
Fine.
yeah. I think it was like water hag or something up there. I can't remember.
I know, it was like, it was a glitched up elements sprite, right? It was a glitch, right?
So up here in the commentary booth, after we saw both of our Ordeals bosses, we were secretly rooting for a demist with Harp in the
crystal room.
The crystal room. With the actual check itself holding Pigtail and be like, hey, it's an all go mode Ordeals.
And then we saw D-Mist at Baron, and it's like, okay, Seed. Okay, calm down.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah, it's always interesting when that happens because it's like, I don't know, I kind of like the having to dive for items a lot of the time, but when they're handed to you so easily, like this seed, or dive for objectives rather, it's always scary.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
And that does bring up a really good point when you mentioned it was talked about the two different types of seeds, where one is just a massive slog, and then the other one where it is, here's the keys to beating this seed. Do it. Do something. We don't know what, just figure it out. Like, how does your mindset change from, okay, we're going to be in this to a while, to, oh heck, I need to figure out what's going on?
At least for me, for this one, it changes priorities of single checks pretty quickly. It was kind of weird for a while there because there was one objective missing that we needed, but it was also, either Twin Harp or Legend and Adamant, and also we needed a way to the moon, so it was like, it didn't feel like too much pressure this seed. And then when we did get go mode, I'm assuming Infinious was in a similar situation, we had Fusoya, so it's kind of like the seed is kind of made up for you a little bit, and you play enough of these, you kind of get used to dealing with that situation. It's kind of when it's a little earlier than this, I think the pressure's on a bit more. So if you're sub 10 key items and you don't have a Fusoya to deal with, so this one wasn't too bad, but it was still a little kind of scrambly for me at the end there.
Oh, no, the same. Like, yeah, I was kind of regretting some of my looting choices because I kind of looted harder than I normally would. I kind of did a weird looting route early on, and kind of, the thing is that looting really like the route I chose to loot kind of rewarded a longer seed. So the fact that it ended up being as quick as it is kind of punished me for it. Actually, I have to know, Dusty, what was your opening looting route? Because I was curious.
I think it was Damsian into Hook, and that was almost all of my looting for the whole seed, more or less. A tiny bit, much more after that, but that's about it.
Yeah, because I did the middle part of Evelyn Castle, and then also I didn't full, because like I figured that given that we had the early hook, I figured I just want to be able to, if I need to snag a weapon from or a trap chest from Evelyn, I at least get idea of where that first one is, and then I only like a half looted Evelyn cave, so I assume you got the heron robe.
Yes, yeah. I was actually quite tempted to do a sneaky little play into Ebline Castle, or even go into the hook route early to do the Mad Ogre's chest with the heroine robe, because we had that samurai bow and mute arrows and stuff. So it was just like kind of set up.
What's samurai bow? There was no.
Yeah, Infinious, that's the one thing you missed in the hospital was the samurai bow. And
Okay.
honestly, that's early game. That made a lot of difference on our games.
That's too bad. Yeah, that's a big one to get.
Yeah, because like I said, I was trying to save time by like just doing a half loop basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, that would have mattered because like I was running around with because I bought a iron archer bow in the cave because with that heroin rope and bandana, it's like, okay, this is my damage. I'm good. Just need to find a better bow. Oh, archer. I guess this will do.
Yeah, I leaned on Rosa a lot that scene with that samurai bow. It was really nice. But...
Yeah.
Now, another thing with time is, I mean, both of you pretty much got to the moon at roughly a similar time, but your means of defeating Z were actually, I don't know if you're aware, are different. Where Dusty, you did a little bit of grinding on the moon with the gold dragons. Infinious, you did Fu and Friends. So what were your thoughts about choosing, in Dusty's case, grinding, and Infinious's case, Fu and Friends, going into that Z fight?
I in this case where it's lined up for me so easily with 10 key items and sirens and hourglasses and all that stuff, I was close to just do Fu and Friends because I kind of did a hybrid of that anyways, in a sense, because my gear was so bad that I couldn't really lean that much on damage from Kane or whatever. So it might have been better had I just done Fu and Friends and said forget about it. But yeah, I kind of wanted to get white on Rosa and make the fight kind of just pretty straightforward for me. But it's one of those things that was a bit of a dice roll. I was like, do I just do this here? I was like, I have 10 key items. I could just do a grind really quick and make it safe. But
yeah, my perspective was that I could have done the grind because I was also at 10 key items as well. Because but I figured that my only out, given how that seed played out, and I kind of was like a bit unhappy about how the early game occurred, that I figured my only out was to hope that Dusty took the moon bait earlier, and then and so at that point I figured, well, the best way I can catch up here is just to issue a grind and just go for it.
Yeah, that's really fair. I was really close to taking the moon bait this one too, because it was very alluring early with the Fusoya and the setup that we had.
I had another question for both of you. You guys, you both ended up with 10 key items coming out of the Luca cave. Did doors ever cross your mind? And then Infinious, you still had the Edward. Did Eddie's strats ever cross your mind?
Eddie's strats is way too expensive to do. I could have done it, but given that I was Eddie was basically playing the role of mattress in this case, that thought never crossed my mind. I didn't have a curse ring either to make that even easier.
Yeah, that's kind of the big thing for me. I didn't have a curse string to set up door grind very easily, so I was just very set on doing either warlocks or King Ryu's, and money was fairly scarce to see. There was not much going around, so it was hard to come by.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and also like I feel like when you have access to sirens and hourglasses, like to me, doors are never the answer. Like you're probably better off just zerking a character because I feel that's just faster than doing doors. Because you have to, even without weak or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty rare for doors to work out really nicely. There's times when it's like kind of clearly the answer, where it's like this is like a really easy play to just do and have my grind done. But in this case, I just felt it would have been really forced to do it, and it was just set up so nicely for just going up to the moon.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess it turns out going to the moon would have been a massive trap. I guess. Yeah, was it just a bait in the end?
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, aside from a few minor divergences, it was really fascinating watching both of these seeds, or both of you run these seeds, because you were in a lockstep for a good portion of it. It was He was really cool.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me too much at this level because it's like a lot of people play fairly similarly. I'm a little familiar with how Infinious plays now, and I don't think it's too far off how I play. So I was nervous that whole time because I was like, I did a few things that I'm assuming Infinious probably did pretty much all this, if not like almost close to all the same choices that I did for checking the key checks and whatnot. So
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. Like, if you know my game that well, I was trying to diverge as just slightly, but like the way the seed basically played out, like I think the only opportunity I would have had to diverge was to make the sealed cave call over tower, but like that seems like such a. But I don't know, like maybe that was what I was meant to do, given that if I feel behind, but and that probably makes up the 2 minute time difference since I don't have to climb tower. Also not baited by the whole having to getting to grind, because I'd be at 9 key items at that point as opposed to 10, I believe. Oh no, but no, I'll be at 10 still, because that would have been tower key, because yeah, it was Legend Sword, so yeah, I'll have been to 11 key items instead of 12. But like yeah, I think that just not gambling when I should have was probably what cost me here.
yeah, that was the one thought that I had. It was every other choice I was pretty fine with, other than that I did tower before Luca, which I was still fine with that choice, but I was like, this is kind of the one that I could see someone doing Luca, since you can just check it and go on.
Yeah, it was extraordinarily tempting for me, and like, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, it's possible I was meant to make that choice, make that choice given I'm the one that has to, I'm the one that's get down the game, but it's I don't know, it just didn't occur to me at the time, and that's kind of how random happens at sometimes,
Yeah,
just probably need more experience getting 1v1 racing under my belt. I said as I'm in the quarterfinals, but this is only my second tournament, so
Infinious, please.
I think it did okay.
yeah, it did okay. Like, like anytime I feel like I can say, for a player of Dusty's caliber, like, yeah, if I just did if things played out the right way, I could have won. Like, I feel like that's a victory in itself, really, given that I don't have a speedrunning background at all.
Yeah, and Scala in chat has mentioned, hey, Infinious, you might be good at this game. Both of you are good at this game, just straight up. Like, that was an absolute clinic from both of you. Any last words or thoughts from Dusty for moving to next week, or Infinious closing thoughts, as unfortunately your time in the LHL has officially come to an end?
Well, I'll say GG's to Infinious on this excellent series. It was a great one, and thank you all for restreaming and commentating, and looking forward to the next round. Yeah,
I mean, also GG's you, Dusty. That would, yeah. I feel like I had to play beyond my mind for that one, and it just didn't pay off. But I feel like if we ran this again, there's a chance that it could go on the other way, and that's
absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you to both Oscar and Gamer for doing comms, Heart Gamer for doing tracking, and Haram for doing restream duties. Yes, it's a shame that I'm knocked out, but honestly, like, getting to the quarterfinals here was way beyond my expectations. Like, I set myself a goal of actually winning a game in the bracket phase, because that didn't happen in ZZ3. So at least I improved in that regard. So I'm looking forward to trying to improve things come ZZ4.
Well, GG's again to you both. Thank you much for a wonderful, wonderful race, wonderful series. Infinious, look forward to seeing you at community races in the next tournament. Dusty, look forward to seeing you next week against your second Australian in a row, the Thunder from Down Under Peasants OMFG.
GG's, both of you.
Yeah, GG's.
Thank you, GG's.
Well, Gambit, we're done.
We are done. That is the end of Free Enterprise for tonight. But don't worry, folks. You still got one more game tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, here on the Free Enterprise channel. It will be Dia versus Penguinator. That's going to be a good one. You don't want to miss that. And then, as a special treat, just a reminder, as we get into the semifinals, community races are coming back. This upcoming Monday, the 24th, 8 p.m. here on the Free Enterprise channel, Monday night community races are back, and we are going to be starting off with the Supermarket Sweep flag set from the ladder. So if you've been playing those ladder matches or watching other people play the ladder matches, we're going to have some Supermarket Sweep flags, which is a lot of fun. If you haven't seen them, they're very jetty, they're very fun. You should come see them.
And especially if you are watching Free Enterprise, you're going, they're scary, y'all. They're really good. I'm not them. That's what the community races are for. Where we all hang out, we all have a good time. You don't have to hit a minimum skill level to participate in them. If you want to do the race, by all means, do it. It's great fun. You get to meet a lot of really cool people, like Gambit, like Dusty, like Infinious, like Harumph, like Heartgamer. And you find some really good eggs here. Like better than scrambled egg foo. They're heckin' good people. It's a good community. And if you're not part of the Discord, do it. Join it.
Yeah, if you haven't joined the Discord, we are a very welcoming community. We are very loving, and we're here for you. So, but speaking of being very loving, we are going to go off on a raid. We are actually going to be raiding the Fastest Furs channel. They are in the middle of a marathon. Fastest Furs Summer Showcase 2021, benefiting Organization of Autism Research. They are raising money for a very, very good cause. Also, if you stay with them, you might hear a familiar voice here coming up, as quite a few of our community members also do work with them. So, but
he's referring to himself, y'all.
Shh, I wasn't going to say anything.
Sorry, he wasn't referring to himself. He was only speaking in the third person.
But anyway, thank you so much for joining us tonight. On behalf of our Streamer Harumph, our tracker Heartgamer, my wonderful co-commentator Oscar424, I am Gaming017. Y'all have a great rest of your night, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye. In like 8 seconds. It's like counting down to New Year's. Like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.